iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.
During the pandemic, I was doing like everybody else. I was sitting at home trying to figure out what Netflix show to binge, and I always wanted to watch Ken Burns Jazz. And the first couple episodes just happened to be about Louis Armstrong, and I thought, how come there's not a musical about Louis Armstrong? And so I looked into it, and sure enough, there was a musical about Louis Armstrong. So I called my people, and I said, hey, ask them if they need someone to help produce, be a part of it, anything. And my people called, they said, does James want to be a part of it? And I said, yes, I do. Next thing I know, I am reading for the part, and here we are.
Hi, my name is Dionne Figgins. I'm playing Daisy Parker, Louis Armstrong's very first wife.
And I'm Darlicia Searcy. I'm playing the character of Lucille Wilson. I am Louis' fourth wife and the longest marriage and relationship he had.
My name is Kim Exum. I play Alpha Smith, who is Louis's third wife, and that's how I fit into the world. My character married him, actually demanded that he marry her. I believe, if I'm correct, she threatened to sue him if he didn't marry her because he promised to, which prompted him to get a divorce from his second wife. So yeah, I'm a little feisty, add some fire, some youth into Louis's world.
King Joe Oliver was Louis Armstrong's mentor and actually got him started on his way. And then eventually, through him realizing that Louis was better than him, it caused some major contention. Yeah, so the drama that ensues is amazing, but it's such a good time. It's such a wonderful role. You get to see how this guy, King Joe Oliver, his arc from the beginning being like the star that's bringing in the new star, putting him under his wing, to like where he's now. Like I don't know if I should give it away, but let's just say things don't happen too well for him. Come back to.
I play Joe Glazer. Joe Glazer was Louis Armstrong's manager. I fit into the world because it's kind of interesting. Joe Glazer kind of really went after Louis Armstrong to represent him. Joe Glazer wasn't the best guy. He was a mafia. He had some mafia ties. He represented boxers at one point, fighters. So he wasn't really a great guy. But he did pretty well by Louis, and he really did help Louis, and he was a yeller and a screamer and a mean guy. They said that people used to shake before going into his office. So it's a very fun side of myself to get to tap into to play this role. I usually play very kind of cheerful, happy guys in comedies. This role for me is much more dramatic. I don't do any singing or dancing, which I love. I love singing and dancing, but I love not singing and dancing also. So it's been really great and challenging and fun and in many ways a new way of working for me as an actor.
The show started with a conversation between me and a friend in a bar, as these things often do, a guy called Andrew Delaplane. We were great friends. He was a showbiz guy, a writer, and he took me to meet his brother-in-law and sister, Renee and Tom, and they said if I could find a musical to do on Louis Armstrong, they would back it. So that's great news for a director. So I went to the local theater in Miami and got a slot, and that's how we started. It was a great happenstance. It just happened.
We started this in 2019 down in Miami. Opened in Miami, got shut down because of quarantine for 18 months. Reopened, and then we're on the road in New Orleans, Chicago, and now we're here in New York. It's been a wild ride.
A choreographer, the best thing they can wish for is to be surrounded by people who want to be shaped it and molded into something great, and that's what we do every day. And if they affect me, I affect them. Yeah, it's an even exchange.
What's interesting enough is that I was working on Tommy, and so one of the challenges I faced was being able to kind of balance both worlds, because I've been working on this project since 2021. So it's always been in my heart and my spirit to really just find the balance between being a creative but also being an artist. And I've been finding that both work really well together because it really continues to stimulate you and keep you authentic and keep you grounded and make you continue to care about the art.
Well, I didn't know anything about Louis Armstrong. I thought to myself, they're going to sing A Wonderful World for 2 hours. What's to say? You know, and so I think what is going to be so surprising to audiences is what a great American he is and what a great American story this is. he had to break barrier after roadblock during a very racially charged time in our country. And so that was the most interesting thing that I learned about how strong he was and how many difficulties he had as a person. But he was a great American, and he changed music forever.
I love Louis Armstrong. I've been working on his life in some capacity as an artist for many, many years, so it's really exciting to see his story being told on Broadway with this incredible cast and these incredible artists that I get the chance to work with.
Yes, because I used to work at Disney's Club Coca-Cola, and so I've always had like the privilege of like being around jazz and seeing a lot of these great artists come through and play this extraordinary catalog of jazz right in front of me at Wynton Marsalis's restaurant and lounge, and so it's been really great to kind of like now use my education in that into this production.
Yeah, as a child, I never saw him. I saw Ella, but I used to love them. But probably the later Louis, the more commercial Louis. So through my experience now, you realize what an amazing jazz genius he was, especially in the 20s when he kind of invented so much of the form. And I'm now a huge fan of his art and his way of spreading joy and love, which was his main mission.
I was working at New School for Jazz, subbing in for someone, and I got as a gift, a Secret Santa gift, a Louis Armstrong bio. This is like 10, 15 years ago. And then after reading that bio, I just started watching YouTube clips of all his performances, not knowing this was going to happen years later, just because I was so inspired by him. Sometimes the universe gives you literally those gifts.
I've had 2 or 3 casts actually it's been 6 years. All have been a family. This is a very nice family. And now I've invited James on as my co-director. And one of the ladies who originally played one of the wives is my other co-director. So we now are a sort of extraordinary family. Louis is all about family, and the more family we create, the stronger it's going to be. We share everything. I lead the rehearsals, but I'm always in consultation with them. And they know the culture better than I do, so I'm learning an awful lot. It's been a joy.
Oh, it's great. I mean, we've been working with each other for almost a year and a half now, and we've been able to gain a vocabulary, but a collaboration that supports Chris's vision. Christopher Renshaw's vision is broad, and it's important because the story is important, and we want to make sure that we bring a sense of authenticity, which is why we're here to help support him in this production.
The journey has been absolutely fantastic. I've always wanted to direct. I directed a lot after college, and then I jumped on this Broadway journey, and it took me on a successful, different journey I wasn't expecting, and here we are. But it's become full circle of getting to be a part of this directing team, and I'm hoping that once people see this and see what we've done, I'll be able to do other things after that, because that's kind of the goal now. I mean, don't get me wrong, I always love performing, but I love the creation of Broadway musicals, and I always have, and I can't wait to do more, because this has been a challenging yet at the same time exciting moment of my creative life.
I'm excited for them to see jazz music physicalized. And what I mean by that is, because we hear jazz music, but to go, oh, I hope it makes sense. that's I'm in the studio creating, and if it comes across, and I'll find out.
Oh my God. People are going to be blown away, I feel, because I don't know if they know what to expect. And it's just know that it's going to be high energy and high drama, and it's everything that we need in a big new Broadway musical about this amazing man's life, Louis Armstrong. So I'm just excited to be a part of it and to play a role like King Joe Oliver, who was a real person that actually aided and assisted in this man's meteoric rise to the top. So yeah, I'm excited.
I have really enjoyed digging into the character study, learning more about Louis Armstrong's life, specifically about his wives, and all the different cities that he lived in, and what was happening in the world at the time. So doing the dramaturge for this show has been really, really awesome. I think I'm just excited for us to peel back more layers of Louis Armstrong and let audiences see not just the music, but the man behind the music. And I think they'll get to know him in a different kind of way.
Being in the room has been a wonderful exploration as to where we are and how much we're going to cover. There's so many layers to his life. It's hard to try and achieve all the things, all of the accomplishments, and experience all the challenges that Louis went through against the backdrop of real life, legislation and changes that were happening in our world, and try to put that all in one piece. But we're up to the challenge, and I think we're going to put our best foot forward and really make it happen, because this piece is deserving of that, and that's the kind of layered story that we would like to tell.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.